Mary Robinson's numbers of about 18 a game.
She can do that. Also, she can do it on the boards, too, because she has got some hops.
Kaya Davis opening tip against Michaela Elmore. Tigers, Day Harris and company trying to get back into the win column, get win number 8 on the year, and a feed inside to Robinson. Points in the paint are going to be big in this contest. A couple of games ago, ETSU was -4 in that category against Campbell. Jim, give us your keys to the game.
Well, obviously, East Tennessee's got to be able to rebound with this much taller Clemson team, for one thing, and then Clemson's got to close out on three-pointers. They've given up 23 three-pointers in the last 2 games. One
of their better long-range shooters with the ball right now, Courtney Moore. Brown, pull up for 2. Can't get the bounce. Scrap for the ball, Foley and Elmore. And here come the Tigers. Robinson, quick pass, Whitehorn. Give her 2 there, part of a lineup that includes Harris, the point guard. Of course, Maddie Cluse, a player that I think, after showing some scoring ability early on, they'd like to see that pick up from her as the ACC continues on here.
Yeah, if they get those 2 forwards going, they're going to be hard to handle. They can score. Obviously, they've got 4,000-point scores on this team, so they can score. The focus Coach Butler's trying to come across, prove to them, is we got to play this game on both ends.
More dishes. Pretty finish. Davis, senior out of Knoxville, Bearden. Great basketball programs there for both boys and girls at that school in Tennessee. Good job by Robinson. So get the ball on the baseline. Now they'll reset. Harris, the pit transfer, doing a nice job running the point this season for the Tigers. Backdoor pass, Whitehorn. Defended well by Brown. Tried to go up again with it. And Kendall Foley coming away with it for the Bucs of ETSU. On the season, they force about 16 turnovers a game.
Foley's the glue to this team, Pete. Running the ball, running the point position for them there.
She and Moore very much vital in their backcourt. Tigers will get it back. Courtney Moore out of Gainesville, Florida. There's Kendall Foley. She came to them a year ago from Oakland University in Michigan. This year they've got another one of her former teammates, Breanne Beatty, who's joined the squad. She's out there on the floor playing defense, wearing number 11. Whitehorn. Elmore battling. Foley comes away with it. Here come the Bucs. Average under 60 points a game. Dry stretches offensively have been an issue for them, but Brown, their best three-point shooter at 35%, puts them in front. Harris made it look easy.
Oh, without a doubt. Great job right there. Little hesitation dribble and then exploded by there.
Tigers trying to win for a 7th time in as many meetings against the school from Johnson City, Tennessee. Beatty, and look at Elmore with her first personal. Naveah Brown, again, she began her career at Wake Forest, also played at a fine junior college in Florida.
Yeah, she had 25 against Gardner-Webb in her last outing, Pete, so she could fill it full.
Meanwhile, boy, Day Harris, if it's that easy, she's going to try to take it to the basket all day long. So here's Breanne Beatty, originally from just outside of Columbus, Ohio. Just her 12th free throw attempt as a Buck, and that's just her second miss. She's now 10 of 12 on the season. Beatty already has her degree in early education, working on her graduate work. Looking to go into special ed. They've got a really fine educational program at ETSU. Whitehorn forcing it. Robinson over top of the defender Beatty, and that'll be the first on Beatty. Brenda Mock-Brown, year number 2 at ETSU, and not a normal first season. 25 games to debut. She didn't get the job till August of 2022. They'd had some tumult going on, and she inherited a roster that had kind of been pieced together. Several players had already left, but she had key components back. They added a really good rebounder in Jayla Rufus-Milner, who was injured in the middle of their SoCon season last year and has not yet returned. And they lost their leading scorer from a season ago, Giselle Thomas, but for the most part, just about all the key players returned for a team that, as we talked about off the top, is picked to win their conference.
Yeah, she's done a heck of a job. She was very, very good at UNC Asheville, Pete.
Had a tremendous run there. We'll talk more about that, and not only her success on the court, but a real interesting side story to her 8 years guiding the Big South School in Asheville, North Carolina. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Tigers back in front by a point on the Robinson free throw. Throwing it away, Foley just into the game. Mackenzie Kramer for the Tigers. She's known for her long range. That's why.
You see why. Got a good quick release. Came off that high screen there by Amari and drilled it.
Tigers jumped up quickly, now back in front by 3. Brown. Foley back to Brown. She hit a 3 from that spot moments ago and seems to like it.
Yeah, both those assists came from Foley there to Brown, so they work very well together.
She has really upped her scoring this year. They've needed a go-to scorer. Valentine, who checked in moments ago, scrapping for the rebound. So here come the Bucs of ETSU. Brown by way of Wake Forest and Northwest Florida Junior College. Driving Beatty, knocked away. And ETSU will keep. Mari Robinson, of course, continues to do great things on both ends. And the Tigers getting good work out of one of their newcomers, Mackenzie Kramer, after the steal. Great form, the Lehigh transfer. 41% this year, second on the team, and that was pretty much where she was during her time in the Patriot League at Lehigh.
Yep, had a great career there at Lehigh, and obviously based it on most of her three-point shooting there, but she used that screen very, very well. Rubbed shoulders with Freeman.
They are going to look at that. For now, it is a 2, not a 3. And we're tied at 9. Look at Brown scrapping. Gets her own rebound. Just onto the floor, Brecken Snotherly for the Bucs. Also checking in moments ago, Journey McDaniel. Hot start continues. 11-9. They are getting some good work out of players they've been counting on now throughout this season to make up for the loss in scoring of the departure of Thomas. Feed inside, Freeman. And Owinyang on the floor for Clemson. Foley defends Valentine. Shot clock at 10. And we're going to get an offensive foul. Illegal screen goes against Amani Freeman. Early on, tight battle as we expected here in Littlejohn. Great in Clemson. It was initially ruled a 2, but during the timeout, the officials getting clarity. Both feet behind the line, and Kramer continues to add that weapon. So it makes it an 11-10 ball game. Tigers down by 1. Brenda Mock-Brown, we introduced you to her moments ago. Second year at ETSU. She had a brief hiatus away from head coaching, but her previous head coaching stop, UNC Asheville, an 8-year run that included back-to-back Big South titles in 16 and 17. 5 years ago today, she was married. She and her husband celebrating their 5th anniversary. Yes, in the middle of basketball season. She once told me that, yeah, we just basically had like a 2-day honeymoon and then right back at it. So kind of a unique time of the year, to say the least, for a basketball coach to be celebrating a wedding anniversary. Quickly on the ball reversal, Journey McDaniel, sophomore from New Bern, North Carolina. Bucs take a 4-point advantage. So she is hoping, is Brenda Mock-Brown, who's known as Coach Mock, another offensive foul, and if it's an illegal screen on Freeman, and it is, that's quickly her second, but she's hoping to celebrate the anniversary. Really good ball movement on the offensive end, something the Bucs have been trying to do more.
Yep, no doubt about it. Want to move that basketball and making the extra pass there to get the shot in the corner. That's 2 illegal screens on Freeman.
Over the past roughly minute 50 on the game clock, ETSU on an 8-0 run. A year ago, they went in and demolished Vanderbilt on its home floor, won decisively. They're trying to get a Power 5 win here this afternoon.
Well, they lost the opening game of the year at Kentucky by 8 points.
A scoop. Naveah Brown off to quite a start. First player in double figures. She has 10. Whitehorn looks to answer. And Ruby Whitehorn picking up where she left off Tuesday.
That's what she does so very well. Takes that ball to the rack, protected the ball on the way up. That was just picture perfect.
Foley. I think ETSU playing offensively where they're going to have to be successful today. They're not going to probably find a whole lot of success down low. 10 on the shot clock, and Brown will give it up.
They don't turn it over very much either, Pete. They do a very good job taking care of the basketball, don't beat themselves.
That's their third in the game. They give it up about 13 times a contest. Out high, Brown defending Whitehorn. Tigers really, save for a couple of plays, have not had a lot of flow on offense. But Harris, second time she's been able to drive right to the basket.
You know, Harris is 7th in the ACC in assists, and here she is scoring 10 points a game for the Tigers. That's a great combination.
Nearly 5 assists for the grad transfer from Pitt. Foley hung up by Harris in front of the Clemson bench. Tigers want to attack the basket today.
Great job getting her shoulders by that defender and finishing.
Jalea Cotton will inbound for the Bucs of ETSU. She checked in moments ago. Brown probably doesn't leave the floor while the outcome of this game is still in question. Vital player and a very talented player. Got to be a candidate for a SoCon Player of the Year honor in a conference that had been dominated by one player over the past couple of seasons. That's a wide open race this year. Not that time for more. ETSU missing from long range for the first time this afternoon. They're now 3 of 4. Brown defending Whitehorn. Robinson the lob for Elmore, and we'll get a foul in the paint.
That's what Clemson has to do, is get that thing down low to their bigs. They certainly have the size advantage.
Second team foul against the Bucs. It'll be the first on Journey McDaniel. Whitehorn in traffic. Harris, and one.
Inbounded the ball, stepped in, and look what I found. And a good job finishing in traffic.
Opportunity for a three-point play for Day Harris. So how about the feistiness by the Tigers off the inbound?
Being at the right place, the right time.
Harris at 67%, second on the Tiger team in free throws this year. Cotton, sophomore from Bardstown, Kentucky. Brown gets the attention of Whitehorn. Ball deflected by Robinson on the pass from Davis. ETSU, 6 of their last 8 made from the floor.
You know, Pete, I can see a distinct difference in the intensity of Day Harris playing defense. She's out there and doing a great job with pressure at the point of the ball.
Beatty going around Elmore, who defended nicely. Tigers will get back.
Yeah, great discipline right there by Elmore with her hands straight up in the air, walled up perfectly.
Chance for another lead change. We've had 3 so far. Cluse for Elmore, looking inside Robinson. Good job by Beatty to get her hand on it.
Elmore would have shown a little more patience right there. Amari Robinson would have been open with about one more step.
Whitehorn back to the inbounder. Usually works. Cluse on the follow, no. And eventually Davis for ETSU. Tigers, couple there. They'll normally get to go.
Right.
Coming up on a minute to play in our opening quarter. Brown on the wing. Moore dogged by Cluse. Robinson defending Beatty. 10 on the shot clock. Crossover and a drive. Not going to go down for Cotton. Elmore hit threes the other day. Can't get it to fall. Big rebound inside. Cotton averaging about 7 a game to lead their team. Or Davis, rather, with that rebound, their team leader. You see the difference, shot clock to game clock. You figure ETSU will try to whittle it down as much as they can. And a foul by Robinson on the wing with 6 on the shot clock.
Yeah, really good on-ball defense by Clemson. I am impressed that if they would just close out on those threes, they're doing a good job guarding against the dribble.
So a 5.6 second differential. Foley will check back in.
A little slow on those closeouts. My rule was be there when the ball gets there with high hands. Be there when the ball gets there.
And you saw Kendall Foley look over to her head coach. They're going to try to go as low as they can on that shot clock. Megan Downing just had the ball. Post player for the Bucs, setting a screen for Foley, who gets it to Moore. And Clemson gets it back with just over 5 seconds to go. Second straight miss from long range for Moore and the Bucs. Maddie Ott, you see her at the top of the arc, just checked in for Clemson, and now she'll actually check back out. Harris back on the court. Thought they might have her in there for a long 3 to beat the buzzer.
I think they've got 3 shooters in the corner.
Harris instead will drive right past Moore, and a foul is called. 0.2 of a second to go in the quarter, and Moore on the reach in. Harris has been on the attack throughout this opening quarter. Leads the Tigers with 6 points, tries to add on.
She really has been very aggressive with the basketball in her hands.
And she's now 1 out of 3 on the day from the foul line. Tigers by 2. And that'll do it for quarter number 1. Clemson and Amanda Butler. A lot of basketball still to be played this season for her. For Naveah Brown and ETSU, they're trying to pull off an upset on a Power 5 court as quarter number 2 gets underway.
You know, Mom is a Hall of Famer at Providence, and Amari obviously will be, in my opinion, a Hall of Famer here at Clemson.
Oh, absolutely. Kloos. Hand on it by Moore. There was Elmore to clean up.
Right place at the right time again.
Kayla Elmore getting into the scoring column. Had a good game in a lot of respects against Air Force Academy, including 6 points, but she was active on the defensive end. Tigers match their biggest lead. Foley, and we'll get an illegal screen called against ETSU's Megan Downing. That'll be her first. And the first foul on either team here in quarter number 2.
Once again, that's Day Harris putting pressure at the point of the ball. I just see so much improvement in her on-ball defense.
Harris, good start to this game for her scoring-wise with 8 points. Robinson, and a foul be called. That may be a second quick one on Downing, and it is. Of course, the Tigers have already seen Amani Freeman pick up 2 fouls, one of their post players.
Coach Brown is really upset with that call because she knows how badly they need Downing in there, because she is basically their size, their height.
Off the inbound, you saw Brenda Mock Brown. Now you see her at the bottom of your screen, an active coach on the sidelines. Not that time for Kramer. Sarah Thompson, one of the veterans in this Bucs program, just checked in. And Brown in the front court. Pass knocked away Robinson. Almost took it the other way. Went right over Thompson near midcourt on the second effort.
That was a great effort by Amari Robinson. She went after that basketball like she wanted it.
Robinson coming off a 14-point, 8-rebound effort against Air Force after, of course, having her career high. Second time this season she's established a career high when she had 35 on Saturday with 7 boards in the loss to Georgia State. Brown couldn't find the handle. Kramer taking it. Bucs able to get back defensively. Robinson working on Davis. And Jakaya Davis will be called for the personal.
Amari doing what Amari does best. She gets to that free throw line, and she is shooting over 80% from the line. And for her career, she shot that, given those kind of numbers from the free throw line.
Mentioned that 35-point performance earned her the Tigers' first ACC Player of the Week. And again, she received the Player of the Week in the conference after a game her team lost. Gives you certainly an indication of the presence she had in that contest. Now the officials wanting to talk things over. Exactly what topic, I'm not sure.
I don't know, unless it was contact above the neck.
Our crew today: Carla Fountain, Whitney Armstrong, and Corey Chambers. And a discussion with Brenda Mock Brown. Looks like we're going to have a video check. We're going to take a timeout here in Little John. Might have seen a flagrant foul, the Tigers' Amari Robinson, but they gave it a look and determined it was just a basketball play. And if you look at the video, you get the very impression. Trying to spin on Jakaya Davis and just trying to rekindle the basket.
A little bit of an elbow contact there, but
nothing intentional.
Nothing at all intentional.
So, because the review did not prove to be a flagrant foul, ETSU losing a timeout.
And Amari Robinson goes to the free throw line.
Because then she was later fouled, so here she is at the line. Where she's really good. 81% leads the team. And we showed you the Swish family Robinson graphic not long ago, and a family of good free throw shooters. So a little bit of pressure on her to live up to that too.
But she's living up to it very well.
5 of the Tigers, 22 points. Clemson building its biggest lead of the second quarter and the contest.
Ironically, at Providence College, where her mother is in the Hall of Fame, a former Lady Tiger, Erin Bath is the head coach now.
Oh, wow. Samaya Puckett just into the contest, had the ball, now out high. Kendall Foley, defended by Harris. Brown, and we noted, we were talking during the timeout, how they have shut her down scoring-wise after she quickly picked up 10. Shot clock under 10. Pull up and forcing it, won't go for McDaniel. Tigers another nice stand. Clemson looking to continue this good run. Began late in the opening quarter. Off balance by Harris, not going to go. Bucs still out shooting the Tigers 46%. Brown tries again from long range, overshoots. And now that is 3 straight misses after they made their first 3 beyond the arc. Harris will give it up. Turnovers, though, a little bit better for Clemson compared to the pace on Tuesday. That's just their 3rd.
Yeah, that was an unforced turnover there. I don't mean to be critical, but that would never have been called in the men's game.
Foley and the Bucs of ETSU already at 10 wins on the year, trying for a 4th win away from home, playing their 6th road game of the year. Brown, double team, shoots over Elmore. Nice pull up by Naveah Brown. She's got a dozen. Bucs look like they may be in a zone, Jim.
Yeah, they're playing that 2-3 zone. Clemson's very capable of hurting them from beyond the arc there.
Player with the ball in her hands. Kramer can do it. Harris looking to penetrate. Shot clock at 5. Swing pass. Kramer, another 3 try. Inyang. And denied by Puckett.
Big gal's got to use that left hand there, protect that basketball. Can't be half a player.
Samaya Puckett making her impact on the defensive end for the Bucs of ETSU. Freshman came to them from Griffin, Georgia. Shot clock set at 20. Kramer at inbound. Long for Elmore. Unforced error there. Be a fourth turnover so far in the opening half.
2 straight possessions, turning it over.
Naveah Brown originally from Charlotte, so not a bad drive at all to have a road game here for friends and family. And really from Charlotte over to Johnson City, especially since they finished I-26 between Asheville and Johnson City a number of years ago. That turned that into a picnic of a drive.
And that is a beautiful drive coming off that mountain there, looking over Unaka, Tennessee.
Just a beautiful and a really beautiful area where they're located. The delay was for a fixing of the clock, so we got to give you our travel guide update and a 10-second violation. Speaking of the clock, Foley couldn't get it across in time.
Well, Ruby Whitehorn got a finger on it and created a loose ball there, and that enabled them to get that 10-second count and get the ball back after the turnover.
Robinson will check back in. Tigers without a field goal over the past 3 minutes, but maintain the 4-point lead. Danielle Roush with the ball just into the game. Moore defends Kramer.
Tried to get a post up with the Ruby Whitehorn inside that time, and ETSU defended it well.
Roush looks low. That zone continues to be difficult, but Whitehorn found the key and unlocked it.
I don't know if that was a bounce pass to feed the post to In-Yang, or it was a backdoor. Anyway, it turned out to be a backdoor layup.
The end result worked. Foley was hung up. Brown loves that right wing. Roush trying to stay with her. Shot clock at 10. The handoff to Foley. Off a screen from Davis. Foley. Nice move. In-Yang defending, gets the rebound. Under 5.5 to play before the half. Whitehorn from long range. Just 19% on the year. Brenda Mock-Brown does not like the flavor of this one. Tigers move in front, 27-18. Ruby Whitehorn now leads the Tigers with 9 points.
You know, I was talking with Coach Gibbs earlier about Ruby, and he said, you know, after the game that she played against Georgia State, she was really down. He came into the gym the next day, and Nia Valentine and Ruby were working on their defensive closeouts, not necessarily her shooting. So, and that's when he told me she just wants to be great.
Tigers forcing an 8th turnover by the Bucs in the opening half. Kramer inside, In-Yang. Risky pass by Kramer, but In-Yang made it worth it.
Well, In-Yang could have made that pass better if she wasn't going away from the ball, if she had stepped up and met the ball. But she did use the left hand that time, Pete.
And In-Yang, her first bucket of the game. Whitehorn.
I like it.
Again, Tigers using the defense. Told you ETSU doesn't give it up much, just over a dozen times a game, but that's 9 over the first quarter and a half. Roush lobs, In-Yang too easy. Got behind Davis. The run continues for the Tigers. 9-0 over the past minute and a half.
Well, Clemson's definitely got the size advantage there, and that was a great job lobbing the basketball. You got to put pressure at the point of the ball on that lob pass.
Tigers have outscored the Bucs 20-6 in the paint. We told you ETSU was going to have to live on the outside. Moore had it deflected. Thompson. Not high it goes. Beatty. Shot clock at 2. Thompson forcing. And good hustle by Beatty to get the rebound. They'll reset.
Long rebounds sometimes, even though you're blocking out very well, sometimes you just don't get those long rebounds.
Thinking about it, Cotton. Whitehorn coming in, and a foul is called. Anna In-Yang can be a dangerous element for a team of the size of ETSU.
That big body right there, she just takes up a lot of space and uses the body very well, uses the left hand there, and then the lob pass inside for the good power layup and finish.
Other than Davis, who stands 6'3", their post player, they just don't have anyone else who can come over and help. So she can be a real problem, and she has been in this sequence. She's over on the bench now with 4 points. Tigers the ball, looking to build on this 13-point lead. ETSU led 16-10 back in the opening quarter. Held ball, and the arrow will keep it on the Clemson end.
Clemson's defense, their active hands have created some turnovers. Danielle Roush got a hand on the ball last time, and then Ruby Whitehorn got on the floor and got the loose ball.
Tallest player for the Bucs, Megan Downing, was in there earlier, picked up a couple of fouls, so there's someone else who could have helped on someone like Inyang or Robinson in the paint, or others. Roush on the lob to Whitehorn. 9 so far for the sophomore from Detroit with the ball. Robinson the rebound.
She's got a nose for that basketball. She's a very good offensive rebounder.
Tigers half a dozen offensive rebounds.
Foul on number 2, holding Elmore.
So they get Journey McDaniel. And another foul for her. It's now 5 in the quarter, so it'll mean free throws, and McDaniel picking up a third. Look at the nose for the ball by Amari Robinson.
She reads that ricochet, we used to call it. Read the ricochet. That's characteristic of a good rebounder.
4 rebounds for Robinson to go with 5 points. Michaela Elmore at the line, 71%. Or I'm sorry, even better than that, at about 75%. Can't get either attempt. The lead remains 13, coming up on 3 to play here in the second quarter.
Good defense again.
Brown, the pull-up over Robinson. Pretty move.
Yeah, with her hand in her face. That's a player right there.
14 points. She's already passed her season average. Tigers throw it away. And it'll be a backcourt violation. So, ETSU gets the stop. Boy, Naveah Brown making her head coach, Brenda Mock Brown, proud with moves like that.
That's a great job right there with the crossover dribble and step back and just perfect form on that jump shot. That girl's a player.
Brown at 5'9", defended by the 6-foot Robinson, able to shoot over her. Tigers at the top of your screen have put Freeman back in the court with a couple of fouls. Inside work, Breanne Beatty. So back-to-back buckets for ETSU. And they're back within a single-digit deficit.
Again, that 2-3 matchup.
Whitehorn out front. Ruby Whitehorn, again, has not had a good run from three-point range, but she's now 2 of 2 in this game. Give her 12.
She's developing some confidence in that 3-shot, looks like.
From the wing, Moore. Boy, that was a needed answer for ETSU to hang in this game with under 2 to play before the half. Freeman, collision. I think they'll get Foley. And they will. Kendall Foley for ETSU, picking up her first personal. So 3's on either end, Jim.
Great pass there at the top. Got to close out with high hands. That's a great job of going straight up, straight down, and then on the other end, right back at you.
Courtney Moore averages about 9 points a game. So Amani Freeman, who picked up those 2 quick fouls, back on the floor. Right around 70% this season as she knocks down the free throw. One of the 2 newcomers from Miami of Ohio in the Mid-American Conference for the Tiger team this year. And the lead's back out to 11.
Yeah, Foley choked down on the post that time a little too aggressively on Freeman. And she made him pay.
Foley transferring from a school not far from where Whitehorn grew up. Former Oakland University player just outside of Detroit in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Beatty, no. Elmore couldn't keep it in bounds.
It was a set play by East Tennessee State there. They set the flare screen for Beatty. Davis stepped out there and screened. A good skip pass.
About a minute and a half to play in quarter number 2. Tigers have won all 6 previous meetings. First time since '03 these teams have gotten together. That kind of surprised me when I looked it up. What good ball movement. Davis so unable to finish on a great feed from Brown. All the way back to 2003, the last time schools separated by roughly a 2.5 hour drive met in women's hoops. Elmore. Whitehorn defended by Moore. Roush. She is starting to feel it. Danielle Roush got off to a really slow start beyond the arc, but the Michigan transfer brought that element to this Tiger team. And the lead is 14. Foley couldn't get it to go down.
Good block out by Elmore that time.
Biggest advantage in the game for Clemson, looking to add on to it. Under a minute to play before the half. Give Beatty credit, good defense on the taller Freeman.
Came around her very well. Looks like she got a shot in the head while she was doing it too. There's the flare screen again.
ETSU will trail at the half for just the 4th time this season. Moore from the wing. Brown the rebound. Plenty of time. She forced it. Offensive board, but a travel will be called on Beatty. Danielle Roush was able to hit her first attempt the other day against Air Force, and likewise today.
Good skip pass by Ruby Whitehorn. String music.
Roush now 6 of 26 beyond the arc, but she started something like 0 for 17 or 18 in her Clemson career. So she's been really good over her past 10 attempts. Under 10 to play in our second quarter. Whitehorn lobs inside. Moore comes away with it. Still some time. 2 seconds, 1 second. The heave. There was going to be a travel call. Now there's a discussion among the officials. And it's been determined that our first half has come to an end, or has it been?
Time is going to be adjusted based on when the violation occurred.
So they will go ahead and say a travel before time ran out.
Well, this will be a desperation heave, even if can't be much time on the clock for sure.
Brenda Mock Brown, Amanda Butler, the interesting connection to this game. The ETSU coach was once an assistant to the Clemson coach at Charlotte, then at Florida. A lot of those Christmas sweaters, I forgot mine today, Jim. Amanda Butler didn't forget hers, though. Festive as always, very stylish. The Tiger head coach in year number 6, trying to get career win number 307 and her 77th at the helm of Clemson. So drawing something up that can be executed in probably less than a second in game time once they determine.
1.4.
Well, I underplayed it. 1.4 seconds remaining. All kinds of time to get it in and try to add.
Yeah, plenty of time to catch and shoot.
Robinson will handle the inbound duty. Each head coach you see standing at the bottom of your screen yelling the respective instructions. In Yang to beat the buzzer. Well, that almost worked to perfection. Davis had to back off. She didn't want to pick up another personal foul for the Bucs. And we arrive at halftime.
Tight players on your team.
Usually that's a good way to build. Foley for the Bucs. And Elmore the rebound, but taken away by Beatty. She's been active. To Brown. Pull up. Gets the roll.
This is impressive to me. At halftime, Clemson was out rebounding a much smaller East Tennessee State team by 1. They're just a scrappy team.
And that Bucs team coming in +3 in rebounds on opponents. Tigers about +3 as well off the offensive glass. Day Harris gets the screen from Robinson. Bullet pass Elmore. Back out Harris from the wing. Halfway down. Kluse couldn't save it to the right team. So Jimmy gave us your keys to the game as Brown brings it front court. Let's revisit those. What do you think?
Yeah, well, obviously East Tennessee is battling on the boards, and they're not winning the battle, but they were down one at halftime with a much taller team to battle against. And then Clemson's closing out on the three-pointers after they got really Brown got them off to a great start beyond the arc, but since then they've done a good job closing out.
Bucs are 36% from long range. Tigers defended about 34%, so good job of slowing the train after ETSU hit their first three-point shots. Tell you what, Harris has been hitting a bunch of shots. She has 10, second Tiger in double figures.
That was really a good read right there, Pete, because her defender went behind that high screen, and when she goes behind, she pulled up and nailed it.
Foley, one of their better scorers, goes inside on Elmore, who got a hand on it. Still no points in the game for Kendall Foley, who began the day averaging over 10 a contest. Going for the steal was Downing. She picks up her third personal foul. Good screen by Amari Robinson moments ago.
Yep, no doubt about it. Good screen. See how she goes behind the screen. She pulls up. She can't close quick enough on that. So really good form on that jump shot by Day Harris.
Inbound for the Tigers. Harris out high. So the third foul on Downing. She remains out there. They just need her size. Elmore from the wing. And a whistle to go against Clemson down low. Maddie Clues committing the personal. First on the Miami of Ohio transfer. Got to realize, as we emphasized early on, one of the former disciples you see in the background of the picture of Amanda Butler, Brenda Mock Brown, the head coach of ETSU. A fine head coach. You don't do what she did in her first season with the Bucs, a program that was in a bad place when she took over late in the summer of 22 and win 25 games. You don't make that move unless you got that kind of talent. Ruby Whitehorn right over Beatty, and the Tigers grow the lead out to 16. But you get the impression the Bucs are going to maybe hang around in this game because they've got a fine head coach.
Right.
Whitehorn will be called for the personal. Tigers making the defense lead to offense.
Great job getting a hand on it, deflecting that pass, and Ruby, that's what Ruby does. She just elevates over the top, protects the ball so well on the way up.
Whitehorn second on the Tiger team with 14 steals coming in. Three try won't go for Beatty. Brown inside battling. Over Robinson on the force. And Amari Robinson pulling down her fifth rebound of the game. Robinson, nice feed from Harris. Good defense by the Bucs. Moore was there. So was Puckett.
That ball was blocked.
Big first half for Naveah Brown. Hard screen from Puckett. Brown can't finish. Robinson working the glass. Second on the Tiger team with about 7 rebounds a game.
And I believe she's got about 7 today.
She's right at half a dozen. Harris, baseball pass to Cluse. Cluse likes to drive to the bucket. She'll be called for the charge. A second quick one here in quarter number 3 on Cluse.
Great job of Courtney Moore right there on that dribble drive. Keeps her feet moving, gets in there, and Cluse lowers the shoulder. Good defense.
I've talked about it a lot with color analysts. How do you can coach all you want about not over penetrating. It's just, I guess, one of the hardest things I would think to coach a player is not to commit a charge.
Right, it is. You know, you want your players to be aggressive with the basketball in their hand, but they also have to be under control. And she would have been all right there if she hadn't lowered that shoulder, I think.
Brown on the wing to Beatty. You can tell the veteran presence Beatty brings to their team. You've really seen it today.
Right.
Moore around a screen. Shot clock at 4. Kick to the corner. Beatty. Big three. Fifth made by the Bucs team today. Breanne Beatty. Oakland transfer. Knocks down her first tray. They're back within 13. Roush thought about the outside. Instead feeds the inside.
Nice pass by Roush. That bounce pass just slithered through there. Whitehorn's getting a little more attention on the when she's got the ball in her hands now than she did. I think she's the focus of East Tennessee's defense this half.
Tigers in a zone. Moore. Pull up. Won't go for Cotton. Another rebound for Michaela Elmore. Is it 4 points in the ball game? And a half a dozen rebounds for her.
One of the best ways to attack a zone is to screen it, and East Tennessee's been screening the zone the entire game.
Shot clock at 10 for the Tigers. Kramer on the wing, Whitehorn. Defended by Brown. Forces. Couldn't get it to go. Battle for the rebound. A foul will be called. They say it's on number 5. I believe ETSU's. They trail by 15. Tigers lead by 15. That little guy looks like he's having some fun. Got the big C on his jersey, you should expect. Getting ready for the big C in a few days. And big C being Santa Claus. This guy getting honored. And speaking of the letter C, Cole Wilson, student manager who's been such a vital part of Amanda Butler's program over the years. One of the graduates. And he was honored before the game. He has done so much behind the scenes that so many managers do, helping the team get ready for their games. Feeling just a bit under the weather, so he's not on the bench today, just behind the Tigers bench in the stands. But it was nice to see him get recognized because at practices he is very active in a lot of ways for Amanda Butler's program. And during games too.
Yeah, graduated yesterday with Michaela Elmore. But you could see the love that the team had for Cole, and the managers that he works with every day.
Tigers give it right back after the foul on Jalea Cotton before we went to break. It's her first. A turnover for Clemson. That'll be the 9th in the game. Clemson led by 14 at the break. Bucs got within 13 a bit ago. Under 5 to play here in quarter number 3. Foley knocked away by Roush.
Good hands, Danielle.
Really quick hands. She came in with 4 steals, so add 1 in that column. Naveah looks things over. Tigers had an effective run in the paint in the second quarter to build a double-figure lead. They go right back there. Inyang, though, can't get it to fall.
Point blank range, you got to make those, you know.
Bucs trying to end a better than 2-minute scoring drought, deflected out of bounds, and back over to Clemson. Too many one-and-dones for ETSU to be able to get back into this game.
Yeah, they really did well in the rebounding area early on, but they are one and done now, and that was a forced shot. That was too early in the shot clock, and certainly wasn't a good choice.
Freeman for the Tigers. Moore defends Roush. On the wing, Kramer. Inyang went up over Downing, who picks up her 4th. So Downing, sophomore out of New Madison, Ohio, will head to the bench.
She only had
Puckett replaces her.
2 minutes and a half in the first half. Got 2 quick fouls, and then doesn't get that third one.
And Inyang now 4 of 5 on free throws this season. Give her 6 points in the game, and the Tigers build the lead out to 17, and that's the biggest so far. Some pressure in the backcourt. They forced a 10-second violation in the opening half of play. Cotton around a screen, tried to get it on the wing. Good job by Ott and Kramer to force the turnover. Tough day in that category for the Bucs. More than 15 so far. They average well below that. Roush on the drive. Swings it to Ott. Who delivers? Maddie Ott from downtown.
Good kick out by Danielle Roush after the penetration. I thought she should have taken the layup, but chose to take the three.
Roush known for distributing the basketball. Maddie Ott in a season of giving. Happy to take the pass and drain the tray.
What even is this?
Don't touch my things, gross.
Janice, when you bump
Elmore on the court in Littlejohn today. There she was on Thursday, making the walk, shaking the hand of President Jim Clements, getting that degree in sports communication. The GPA, 3.7. That was her points per game going into the contest against Air Force. She bumped that up to 3.9, so real good numbers both athletically and academically, and obviously more so academically, which is where it's most important. Good inbound play by the Bucs. Samaya Puckett with the basket for ETSU, but those have come few and far between here in the third quarter.
That was a great finish by Puckett there, getting the pass from Brown, but she went up over and scored over the big gal. That was big time.
Roush Kramer defended on the wing by McDaniel. Shot clock under 5. Roush tries a three again. And here comes ETSU. Naveah Brown, by the way, has played 24 minutes. And you knew she was not going to leave the floor because she can do just that, creating her own shot. 18 points. It also kept Foley out there and more, about that same amount of time as Brown for obvious reasons. Backdoor pass. Pretty one for Kramer. No for Inyang. And it'll stay in Clemson's end. And again, Naveah Brown, we saw her hitting from the outside earlier. She shows at 5'9" she can work inside.
Yep. Might have got away with a double dribble there, but it was a really good dribble drive.
I did a game yesterday where I saw a double dribble call for the first time in a long time.
Really?
And it was a good call.
Yeah.
You just really don't see it that often. You see players get away with it, both the men's and the women's game generally.
Right.
Whitehorn, another good game for the Tigers sophomore. 14 points, make it 16. And that follows up her 17-point effort against Air Force.
You can see she's having fun out there, Pete. It didn't look like earlier in the year that she was really enjoying what was going on, but she's having a good time today.
Defending Brown. Brown trying to cross over. Snotherly, her teammate, couldn't find the handle, and Elmore there creating havoc. And Ruby Whitehorn, who, as we've talked about, will get better from the outside with her shooting percentage, but that's her game right there.
That's her game, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And does a really nice job just off the dribble on the pull-up in the lane even, or even at mid-range.
It all starts with that good first step, too.
Inyang on the illegal screen will pick up the personal foul. I would say Ruby Whitehorn is as athletic a player I've seen in the Clemson women's program in quite some time. Sure, you've got athleticism in Robinson and others, but just not only a really good basketball player, but just the speed and the quick first step and the ability to cut.
And the length. She can scratch her knee without bending over, Pete.
That's right. 6 feet and can go in and play much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Double team near midcourt. Beatty. Mark Brown, the head coach, with under a minute to go in the third quarter, talked about the fact that as they've got some downtime now between this game and when they return to action on the 30th against Coker, they're really going to evaluate how they can be a more diverse offensive team, more versatile, and get to the point where they're scoring more than 59.1 a game. She knows that if they're going to make a run to a SoCon title, that they've got to get better offensively. They came in and giving up under 52 points a game. And some of that skewed based on the competition they played, but still, they know they're going to be good on D. They just have to score more. To beat the shot clock, it will not go for Beatty. Battling for the basketball, Whitehorn comes away with it. 20 seconds to go in quarter number 3.
Heady play by Amari, backing out there with working the shot clock, going to get one last shot.
Roush runs the point for Amanda Butler's team. You saw her look over to her head coach. Whitehorn under 5 to go. Brown defends. On the wing, Ott. Count it! Maddie Ott. Quite a third quarter. They'll give it
I promise you.
That was a great time for both the men's and women's basketball teams. The Tiger Wonderland, the basketball programs have really embraced that for better than a decade. Mari Robinson has not really had to do all that much in terms of scoring, just 5 points for the Tigers leader in that category, but 7 rebounds. That time, though, a turnover for Clemson to start things here. In the fourth, it'll be an 11th. They did confirm the 3 before the break. That was hit by Maddie Ott at the buzzer. So the Tigers with a 21-point advantage in a first meeting in 20 years against ETSU out of Johnson City, Tennessee, the Southern Conference favorite going into that conference's play.
We talked about Clemson's improved defense here. They're playing that containment press. Look, it's 11 seconds, and they're just now getting into their offense. So it's doing its job, taking time off the clock.
Courtney Moore realizes there's under 5 on the shot clock, or does she? It's knocked away, and then Harris came up with a steal. And it'll end up being a shot clock violation since Clemson did not get possession.
Once again, a great hustle play by Ruby getting on the floor after that loose ball.
Amanda Butler going against one of her former assistants today, and Brenda Mock Brown of ETSU. And looking for her team to get back-to-back wins after that rough game against Georgia State, which, say what you want, it was their first game in 9 days coming off a big conference opening win here against Duke. You've got to think that there was some rustiness, and then the Panthers came in and played a really good game last Saturday combined with that. Harris on the travel. And just the way the schedule played, most of the month of December, you could never really get into game flow because you've got finals and conference play beginning means that you put a Duke game in there. You don't want to maybe put a non-conference game a day or two before that. So you feel like once this team gets in the flow, you can see the pieces where they can be a tough out every night in ACC play.
I agree fully.
Foley, shot clock again at 10. Beatty looks low, goes around the defender Elmore. And a foul is called.
Must have got him with the body because that was clean up top, I believe.
And Elmore picking up the personal foul. Number 2 on the senior.
Legitimate. They could have got her for the body there, I'm sure.
Breanne Beatty came in averaging about 7 points a game. Now 1 for 3 in the contest on free throws. She had missed just 1 of her first 11 at ETSU since arriving this season after graduating from Oakland University in Michigan. Empty attempt there. Palming is the call as Whitehorn lost the handle. Turnovers building for Clemson here in the second half of play. That's now 13 in the game.
Yep, that's another area they've got to clean up a little bit, but
we've seen palming and a double dribble in this half alone.
These officials are on top of it.
Good crew we've got today. Brown defended by Ott. Out front, long attempt. It'll go for Journey McDaniel, the sophomore from down east in North Carolina. New Bern, North Carolina, her hometown. Harris backs it on Foley. Looks inside Robinson. Gets her own rebound. And Foley got a hand on it. It'll stay in the Clemson end. Journey McDaniel, 28% beyond the arc. Bucs for the game, 6 of 14 on threes.
See, that's an example right there. Ruby was out there, but she didn't have those hands extended up over her head. Just one more step and take that child away.
Inbound pass, and Beatty knocking it away from Robinson. Just like the game against Air Force Tuesday, Clemson knew they would have a size advantage. They've done a good job exploiting that. You look at points in the paint, ETSU's actually gotten a little bit closer, but the Tigers are still plus 12 in that key stat. Whitehorn defended by Brown. Able to shake her and bank it home.
That's just overpowering right there.
18-point game for the Tigers sophomore Ruby Whitehorn. Leads all scorers along with Brown, who has 18. So even in that category for the contest on both sides. Harris and Robinson out for the double team. So another try by McDaniel from way out there.
Shot clock was expiring, but she's certainly finished it.
Brown on the wing. Cotton pulls up. Oh, Elmore, good defense. Got a hand on it. Then the foul is committed. Journey McDaniel with the personal.
No, they called it on Elmore.
Or they called it on Michaela Elmore. I looked up and saw the reaction after the whistle. I couldn't believe it. So Michaela Elmore will head to the bench, having picked up a third foul.
That was a really good play. Not only did she block it, but she blocked it and recovered it.
And then it looked like they got McDaniel on the reach in. Elmore, I guess, maybe they say she swung an elbow?
Yeah, I guess.
McDaniel's pass stolen by Kluse. Ahead, Valentine wasn't expecting the pass, and she'll give it up.
Yep.
A couple of fouls over the past few minutes on the game clock against Elmore that have her over on the bench shaking her head, you would think. Drive inside. Kick on the wing, Beatty. And they will get Freeman for the personal. Downing with 4 still in there because they need her size. And Amani Freeman, who came off the bench early in the game, picked up 2 quick personal fouls. Commits her third. See how it happened.
Clemson's becoming very physical all of a sudden.
Brown pulls up, and double dribble is the call. So, boy, oh boy, they are flying out of the Christmas stocking. The rare calls in this game, but give the officials credit. They're going by the book. Tigers with the ball in a 17-point lead. Clemson has been up by as many as 21. Kluse drives. Kramer almost lost the handle. Of course, players like Kluse and Kramer, Valentine with the ball among the 9 new players in this roster. Backdoor pass. Oh, it would have been a great finish.
Really
for Maddie Kluse. McDaniel tries another 3. Wow. Surprised they didn't get her the ball from long range earlier. She has been red hot and perfect from beyond the arc. 4 out of 4. 12 in the game. Second player in double figures for the Bucs, who are back within 12. Inside, Inyang. Good answer for Clemson.
They get it that deep, it's almost impossible to stop her with the size disadvantage that the Bucs have.
Back out to a 16-point advantage. Not that time for McDaniel, her first miss, but Foley. Pull up. Won't go for Brown. Brown's 8 of 14 from the field. She holds at 18 points. Kramer refusing the screen. Had the right idea. Mackenzie Kramer hits another 3.
She's got that quick release too, Pete. You better be on her toes.
Half a dozen for her on her 2 3-point made. One in the first half. Now that one here in the fourth quarter. Brown goes around Inyang, who defended well. Kluse. And a foul's going to be called.
This game's becoming very...
Kluse unhappy about something. We'll get that squared away. And Inyang inside, cleaning up. From the outside, Kramer, swish. Tigers up big.
So is the toboggan. I know because I stole it.
Day Harris got off to a good start scoring in this game. And again, someone used to distributing also can add you some pop offensively. And so far, she has 10 points.
Yeah, Harris is 7th in the ACC in assists, Pete, but obviously she can score and score in bunches. Well, she's a 1,000-point scorer, you know.
I think it's important that she's averaging about 11 points a game.
Yeah.
This seems like the kind of Clemson team that's going to be most effective if they can have maybe eventually 5 in double figures. Whitehorn, with that effort against Air Force, got there, joining Robinson and Harris. But somebody else, maybe it's Maddie Kluse, who's at 8.1 a game. Maybe Mackenzie Kramer becomes enough of an outside weapon. But this is going to be the kind of team that will need to be able to spread out the scoring against the tough teams in this conference.
Well, I think players like Maddie Ott and Mackenzie Kramer, they've got to show up on the defensive end if they're going to get more playing time. And then, of course, the more playing time they get, the better scoring they're going to be able to do.
Tigers lead holds at 17 off the miss. ETSU, they just haven't been explosive enough offensively to put runs together that would give you an idea that with under 4 to go, they could quickly whittle this thing down to single digits and put Clemson on edge. Tigers forcing yet another turnover. 20 in the game for the Bucs, and then Kramer on the other end. She's 3 for 6 from downtown. What a good shooter she is, the Lehigh transfer.
Well, that 3 points came off the steal by Danielle Rouse. That's the second time she's picked Foley's pocket.
21 total turnovers for the Bucs of ETSU. That is way up there for a team that averages just over a dozen a game. Downing couldn't get it to go. Now from the Tigers on their way to an 8th win on the season, and Kramer on her way to one of her better scoring days in a Clemson uniform.
She can flat out shoot that 3 ball now.
She combined for 14 points in the previous 2 games. She has 12, all on made threes this afternoon. Brenda Mock Brown sees her team fall behind by 23, courtesy in part of Mackenzie Kramer. Long way from home for the St. Michael, Minnesota native. We had to reveal to her the other day when we talked to her before the game that we actually do get some snow here in the upstate of South Carolina. She said when. We said, well, maybe. Look at that touch.
They don't call it snow. This is not a snow.
I was going to say for her it's a dusting whatever we get here. When you come from up there in the Great Lakes region. She fired that one from out near St. Paul. Good touch. 40% shooter during her time in the Patriot League. Beyond the arc, she was a first-team Patriot League player at Lehigh. Last year, she made 76 three-pointers to lead her conference. A Tiger team that will indeed look at her as an effective weapon as the season goes on, which includes a return to ACC play on New Year's Eve against North Carolina on the run. A gentleman named Jim Davis can be heard on the radio doing color commentary on that game alongside Clark. And then back home for the number 21 Florida State Seminoles. So a couple of top 25 teams for Amanda Butler and crew to face as they'll try to improve on their 1-0 ACC start. At Georgia Tech, at Syracuse. 3 out of the first 4 in January in conference play are on the road.
It'd be nice to get that first one at North Carolina on the road there.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, and then of course the games that follow in January. Beatty, pump fake on Inyang, and Inyang right back at her. Good job by Beatty to keep possession alive, under 10 on the shot clock. Brown, defended by Valentine.
You believe that?
Hey, it's Christmas time.
Yeah, she picked that thing up off the floor and shot it on the way up.
Fine game for her, a 20-point effort, Naveah Brown.
She's a player.
Really is, from Wake Forest to a really good program at Northwest Florida Junior College. And now another season with ETSU. bullet pass inside. Downing a nice job denying the ball getting to Inyang.
Coach Bart Walker, outstanding coach at Northwest Florida State.
So Naveah Brown with Nia Valentine right on her shoe tops almost. And numerous bounces. Kluse in one motion to Kramer. Valentine. She gets into the scoring column with a bomb. Tigers' 10th made 3 in 21 attempts.
Penetration by Mackenzie Kramer in the kick out.
Tigers getting the delay of game warming. 1:29 to go. 71-47. It's a tight game for a good stretch of the opening half, but Tigers turned up the D. Gonna get a foul call against Kluse reaching in. So a good kick that time by the outside shooting Kramer. Give her the assist.
Without a doubt. Through the defense, kicked out, and Nia Valentine can shoot that 3 too. She's a 1,000-point scorer.
1 of 4 in this Tigers team, as we've told you. And Amanda Butler getting some of her reserves into the game. Kylie Kellerman has checked in. As Downing on the line, can't hit the first. As noted, 4 1,000-point scorers in this Clemson team. Valentine joining that club earlier this season. She arrived with just over 995 in her career. And you saw the others with Robinson, Harris, and Kramer. 71-47, about a minute to play. And the foul will go against Julia Cotton. That's the first called against ETSU here in the fourth quarter.
Coach Brenda Mock Brown has been on that sideline working for the entire game and is still down by, what, 24 points?
She is an active head coach, but boy, she knows how to push the right buttons.
Right.
Games like this, though, just Naveah Brown doing her part, but others unable to because you just knew the various mismatches they'd have to deal with. Freeman, turnaround, big touch. She'll probably become more of an offensive weapon as she becomes accustomed to ACC play.
I agree.
She gets in the scoring column. ETSU just try to run a good set or two in the final minute of the game. Moore, defended by Kylie Kellerman. Cotton and Freeman, another personal. So a chance for Julia Cotton, sophomore out of Bardstown, Kentucky.
They play a little basketball up that way, don't they?
And her first point of the game comes from the line. Bardstown's what, just south of Louisville?
I don't know, really.
I think it's over that way. I think it's kind of southeast of Louisville, southwest of Lexington, if I remember correctly. Our producer's aunt once had a home there. Probably very popular in that lovely town in Kentucky. Tigers will need to get a shot off. Also on the floor, Bella Rinaldo gets it to Inyang. Rebound comes down to the Bucs. And Brenda Mock Brown, you see her at the bottom of the screen, still coaching. She wants to see one more good set against an ACC team here. And why not? Well, Kellerman will be able to say she got a stat just before Christmas. It'll be a personal foul. The Tigers will improve to 8-5. ETSU will see a 6-game winning streak come to an end and fall to 10-4 and 3-3 on the road. They get set to play host to Coker, another Palmetto State team, on December 30th. And as we told you, Tigers return to action New Year's Eve against the North Carolina Tar Heels.
The Coker Cobras.
They're now Coker University. over there in the
really?
PD in Hartsville, Darlington County. Valentine doesn't even need to clear midcourt. So Amanda Butler going against one of her former assistants of both Charlotte and Florida, Brenda Mock Brown.